him the outcome of this sort of peace mission? Washington already saying no to what Russia and the EU have hammered out. So what do you see at the end of this?
End of it is not yet. First of all, it's very costly business. This war is very costs a lot of money for Russia. Money running out from Russian market. Investors take out money from Russian market. The Russian market lost, at least from official figures, at least $70 billion. And $30 billion was taken out by investors. Practically for 1 week, total loss was $100 billion for a Russian market. War is very, very cost for Russian market, still going down, and the Russian market lost all interest right now to West investors. This is the main trouble for Russia. They are using a huge amount of money. 90% of the Russian money is the gas and the oil, and oil going down. As far as I remember, maybe I'm wrong, but by end of the Brezhnev era, it's Soviet Union era, I think the oil barrel was $9. I don't know how much by inflation it's right now, but it's if I can imagine if barrel go down right now on the below $60 a barrel, I think it's going to be very difficult economical situation to Russia. Now, Russian military, Russian army right now also ask for the money. The Secretary of Defense of Russian Federation, Anatoly Serdyukov, asked Russian Parliament today to give them 1.4 trillion rubles to rebuild the Russian army. He says this money need to bring some new military equipment for the Russian army, put some new things to Russian forces. It's a very costly situation, and the Russian market is still going down.
Right.
And
but Gregory, let's take a look
Russian rubles getting soft. Russian economy a very difficult situation. It's a very highly cost business to Russia, and the end of it, I just simply don't know, and I don't see the end of I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, you're talking about the cost for Russia. Of course, the market simply not looking good at this point. But Times Online goes how the West is losing the energy Cold War. Russia's victory in Georgia is having far-reaching effects as its neighbors rethink the wisdom of selling gas and oil to Europe. So let's count the chickens after they have been hatched, Gregory. So how do you see the end of this market game, so to speak?
I don't see the Europeans lost the Cold War to Russia, because first of all the price for the oil and gas going down. So the price goes down, they pay less. It's not. It don't mean they're losing the war. I mean they're winning the war. Russia also.
But the demand is still there
because of the situation. Because
but the demand is still there, isn't it?
Proof a few more times, and I think today one of the vice prime minister of the Russian government say Russia very good partner. He said the message to the Europeans: don't be nervous. We're gonna stay with all our agreements. We're gonna supply everything. All these rumors, Russia wanna cut down the production and supplies to Europeans. They try to stop immediately. Russia still wanna be a very good, very good partners for supply the oil and the gas.
Now,
special gas to the Europe. Russia very, very nervous, and I'm not sure they're losing they're winning the Cold War.
Now let's take it to Ian Williams. Ian, I'd like that you're taking this energy issue, which is very important. But let's take a look at Forbes that goes Russia seeks regular dialogue with OPEC ministry, and Reuters goes OPEC and Russia seek closer ties. OPEC is willing to cooperate with major oil exporter Russia. OPEC Secretary General said on Wednesday after Moscow sent a high-level delegation to its meeting. Russia often attends OPEC as an observer and was represented on Wednesday by the influential Deputy Prime Minister Igor Sakhin. Russia presented OPEC with a memorandum of understanding for future cooperation, and here is what OPEC Secretary General Abdullah al-Badri had to tell reporters. As far as OPEC is concerned, quote, we're willing to review this memorandum of understanding. We will try to see how we can cooperate through this MOU. Ian, so Russia and Saudi Arabia, we know they provide half the world's oil, Russia being the second oil exporter, and EU very heavily dependent on Russia, more than half of its gas imports, 40% to 50% of its oil imports from Russia.
remember the corollary for this is one of the reasons why the Central Asians and the Russians want to carry on selling gas and oil to the Europeans is because they have the money to pay for it. And the point is, the Western European economies are much more balanced. Even at the height of North Sea oil, Britain only got 4% of its GDP from oil when it was almost self-sufficient. It's even after Margaret Thatcher, it still had a much more balanced economy. But Russia and the oil states are totally dependent on selling oil and gas. So they actually need Western Europe as much, if not more, than vice versa. I mean, this is a very precarious situation for both of them. So
yes.
Of course Russia wants to reassure. The last thing it wants is Western Europe to decide that the supplies are unreliable and to start talking to the Libyans and the Nigerians and the Venezuelans and others to counter that.
Venezuelans, you want to count Venezuelans out of this, don't you? You may want to...
Well, what are the things
also
that,
Saudi Arabia, the Putin, I think, went to Saudi Arabia a couple of years ago, tried to make a deal with Saudi Arabia, and I'm sorry for interruption, and when they shake their hands, Saudi Arabia agreed to buy, I think, 1,000 Russian tanks. So far it was not a single deal between Saudi Arabia and the Russian Federation, and I think
Russia is a one-crop economy.
Relationship between the Russian Federation government and Saudi Arabian government. So far we get nothing. It's just messages exchange, nothing else.
All right, Alex, I'd like to have your take on this energy. Of course, Dick Cheney was in the region. Where Dick Cheney is, you can smell oil. That's what they say. They say he has a good nose. So I'd like to have your take on this whole energy deal as the huge factor in all of this.
Well, look at what the neocons did. They're overturning our Bill of Rights, our Constitution, destroying our dollar, buying the world up with our dollars, then leaving the American people with the bill, and they send this incredibly unpopular person all over Central Asia and into the Caucasus, into Georgia, to basically saber rattle and